911,
Wait.
how can I help you?
We got somebody that's bleeding.
Okay, is he conscious?
No, he's not.
Paramedics rush to the scene, an alley behind a convenience store. They find the victim lying face down in a pool of blood. He is pronounced dead at the scene.
The victim was 27-year-old Dwight Smith. Dwight Smith didn't have a history of being violent. He didn't have a history of carrying weapons, guns, nothing like that. Through our interviews with family members and friends of Dwight's, we learned that he was a good father, he cared about his children, he cared about his wife, and simply was having some difficulty making money. He finally decided that dealing drugs would be the quickest and easiest way to help take care of his family.
Lucy learns that on the night of the murder, Dwight was behind the convenience store, allegedly to sell ecstasy.
Dwight was supposed to meet with a guy the night that he died by the name of Frank Harper. Frank had a history of violent crime. He actually was an ex-con.
Lucy issues a warrant for Frank's arrest. After 1 week of searching, patrol brings him in. A guard watches Frank until the interrogation begins. Lucy does have one piece of evidence up her sleeve: surveillance video from the convenience store on the night of the murder.
We had information that Frank Harper was wearing a white t-shirt that night. We knew that he had a very large build. And what you could see was, through the window, there was like a big white shadow out by the payphone area. Is that something I could put in front of a jury? Well, absolutely not.
However, Lucy can tell Frank that he is clearly identified on the surveillance tape. Lucy thinks that using the tape may be her best chance of getting a confession.
The idea of you having them caught in the act is a very powerful tool.
Lucy knows that since she can't clearly ID Frank in the footage, it will be an act of deception.
It's risky being deceptive with people. When people lie, they have to keep telling more lies, and the more lies you tell, the more likely it is that I'm going to be able to tell that you're lying to me, because you're going to trip up eventually. Well, the same thing's going to happen to me if I lie to you. Do you know where Dwight was killed?
I heard he was killed behind the store.
All I could do is hope he didn't call my bluff. What time did you go over there?
I didn't go to the store at midnight.
You know, there's surveillance cameras all around.
Surveillance cameras?
What I was doing was implying that I might have him on tape. So you want to think again about going to the store?
You want to think again about going to the store?
He's getting worried. He's not sure if there were cameras around the store. I show that whole front parking lot and inside the store.
The surveillance camera had me on it.
He finally comes to the point where he asked me directly, am I on tape? And I said yes. And I could see the wheels turning in his head. I've been caught. We were going to find out what happened.
We just want the truth no matter what it is.
The truth is, would you believe it if I told you that I'm the Antichrist?
It would appear that he was thinking, denial's not working, what's my next defense going to be?
Nobody wants to be around me because they don't understand.
Pushed into a corner, Frank becomes increasingly threatening.
Frank, relax, Frank.
I don't like when people look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that.
We were prepared in case it turned violent.
Don't look at me like that.
How do you want me to look at you?
Not like that, man. You're looking at me like I'm weird.
You need to relax, okay?
Trying to understand.
People don't want to understand me. Don't understand me.
I didn't want to get too close to him, to invade his personal space. On the other hand, I wanted to calm Frank down, and I thought, you know, patting his arm might help with that. Just relax, Frank.
Shannon's making a connection here.
You haven't done anything to screw with you. I just want to understand what happened, that's all. He's starting to calm down. Did he try to rip you? What happened? Frank, it's okay.
He was supposed to bring 100 pills of ecstasy. Reached in his pocket. I seen the butt of the gun. He said something about ain't nothing personal. So, I rushed him. Rushed for probably about 5 minutes. I took the gun from him. I just told him, you know what I'm saying, turn around. Just attacked him, trying to rob me. He could have killed me, everything was flashing in my eye. Went to turn around, I shot him. My mom was gone. My mom was gone.
I am not comfortable in using deception, generally speaking, in interviews. Did I decide to do it this time? I did. I thought it was going to be a risk that was worth taking. And I'm glad I took it. I didn't buy self-defense, and the reason I didn't was that when Frank talks about having Dwight turn around before he shot him, that indicates to me that Frank is actually very much in control of this situation. My opinion is that Frank went there with every intention of robbing Dwight Smith.
Everything that we learned about Mr. Smith said he's a good man. He was in a position, he was doing what he had to do to survive. Can't accept it, but I can understand it. Mr. Smith did not deserve to die the way he did.